Hello everyone and welcome. This is Dawn. I'm back with another video for you. Today I'll be using the Whimsy Stamps Fadoodle Fall Stamp Set. This is an 18-piece stamp set. You get 4 images and 4 sentiments. What I like about this stamp set is it comes with stamps to put faces on the pumpkins, or you can leave them plain like I'm going to do today. So let's get started. First, I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock cut to 3.5 by 8.5. Originally, this card was going to be a regular size slimline card, but then later in the video, I cut it down to a mini slimline. But for now, I ink blend the cardstock with some Distress Oxide tumbled glass to make the sky. I work my way down to the bottom of the paper. I don't need to go all the way down because I'll be covering the bottom with green cardstock for the grass. I don't worry about it being perfectly blended because we'll be going over it with this white pigment ink right here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white ink and I'm just going to go over the tumbled glass. What this does is it softens up the blue color so you don't see any lines that might have been left from the ink blending. And if you put a little more white down in some spots, it actually makes it look like fluffy white clouds in the sky. Well, I think so anyways. So this is what it looks like when you're finished. I feel like it looks like clouds swirling in the sky, and it kind of breaks up just having plain blue for a sky. Now I take a piece of green cardstock and I die cut it using the Wavy Grass Edger die that comes in the Grass and Cloud Edger die set, and I run it through the die cut machine twice, making one a little higher than the other one because I want to make a hill on my card. And then using my scissors, I cut one of the pieces down so I have a little mound above the front layer of the grass. After I looked at my grass next to the piece of cardstock, I decided I wanted to cut the card down and make it more like a mini slimline card. So I cut the card down to 3.5 by 6, the same length as the grass. Next, I used the Slimline Meadow die to cut out some trees from brown cardstock, and I used the Cloud die to cut out leaves for the trees from green cardstock. And I want to add a little color to the leaves and the tree trunks. So using my blending brush and some Distress Oxide walnut stain, I go all around the edges of the tree trunk, trying to make the outer edges a little darker than the middle of the trunk. Then I take some green ink and I go all around the edges of the leaves, just enough to give them a little bit darker tone on the edge and a little lighter in the middle. Without adding any more ink to the blending brush, I just make a quick pass over the tops of the grass just to highlight the tips a little bit. I glue the hill onto my card, and then I glue the tree where I want it to go, and then I snip off the excess of the tree, and then I glue the layer of grass over the tree and the hill. I glue all of the leaf bushes onto the tree where I want them to go. Next, using the Gnome's Gardener stamp set and the Fadoodle's Fall stamp set, I stamp a bunch of pumpkins and the gnome pushing the wheelbarrow with the flowers in it onto white cardstock with a Copic friendly ink. Then I use my brother's scan and cut machine to cut them out. I do some quick Copic coloring to the pumpkins. I color in the whole pumpkin using YR04, the chrome orange, and then I add a little highlights to the pumpkins with YR07, and I colored in the stems of the pumpkin with some E35. I cut the flowers off of the wagon with my scissors. It was really easy to do. And then I colored the wagon in using the E35. I colored the wheels in using C3 for the middle of the wheel and a little on the outer edge and the handles. And then I blended it with the C1. I came in and added some E37 to the outer edge of the wagon, and then I blended it back in with the E35 again. I color the gnome's hat and shoes with R24 Prawn Red, and then I blend it with some R29 Lipstick Red. I color the gnome's face and hands with E00 Cotton Pearl, and then I add just a little bit of the R11 Pale Cherry. And to finish off the gnome, I add some lines for the beard with some C1. Now I'm going to finish assembling the card. I decided to cut apart the pumpkins that were attached to each other so I could lay them out where I wanted them. I put some inside the wheelbarrow and then I put some randomly on the card. I ended up not using all of the pumpkins. I put some foam tape on the back of the gnome and adhere it to the card, and then I just glue one of the pumpkins inside the wheelbarrow straight to the card, and then the other one I put some foam tape on the back of it to kind of raise it up a little bit, and then I put foam tape on the back of the rest of the pumpkins and I adhered them to the card. I stamped the sentiment "Gnome Grown with Love" in black ink. I do stamp it a couple of times to give it a good impression. To finish off the card, I adhere it to a piece of cardstock cut to 8.5 by 7, and I scored it at 3.5, but then I trimmed it down to 3.5 by 6. And that will complete my card for today. I want to thank you for joining me on the Whimsy Stamps YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to the Whimsy Stamps channel and their other social media platforms so you don't miss out on any upcoming releases and great inspirational videos. Also, check out their website for their entire new release. Thanks and have yourself a wonderful day.